All right, this improv class, we're going to talk about the Dorian. Okay, now let's just start with the Dorian mode and how it relates to the 2-5-1, which is in every song you're going to play. You're going to have a 2-5-1. So if we're in the key of C, your 2 chord is D minor 7, your 5 chord is G7 and C. Doesn't mean you need a different scale for each chord, right? It's all a C scale. So if we play first of all a C, and then we play a C scale, and now we play a D minor, and we play that C scale. All right, now if we take that and we start the C scale on the D note, that's root to root of the 2 chord. That's your Dorian mode. That's all it is a C scale starting on the 2nd step. All right, now if we play a C, and then we play the Dorian, there's your major 9. Nice chord extension. Okay, now if we use the D minor and play the C scale, D to D, that's what they call the Dorian mode. And then your G7, right, becomes the D to D, the Dorian mode in C, but now we're on G7. That's all it is. I mean, if you want to say Mixolydian, there's your G to G, right, for the 1 chord, for the 2 chord, and for the 5 chord, and for the 1 chord. You see that? That's the Mixolydian mode, starting on G to G, a C scale, 5th step to 5th step. The Dorian is the 2nd to the 9th. Okay, so that's just a little derivation of where it comes from. Now, looking at this sheet here, the Dorian / Mixolydian 2-5, all right, the last line there, you see G7 / D minor 11 arpeggio. These are, to me, all of the kind of juicy notes, chord tones, in both the G7 and the D minor chord. And basically what we're doing is just going up in thirds. Third, then a minor third, because we're in the key of C. Right? Now here's your D minor 7, 9, 11. That's also the root of G7. The third is the 13th of the minor, or the 6th, and the root of the D minor, 5th of the G7, and the 9th of the C, the 1 chord. So we have to remember that these tones, you need to think about how they relate to all 3 chords, not just the D minor. And then the G7, we play the Mixolydian. Then the C, we play the C scale starting on C. No, that's not the way we should think about it. The 1 scale should cover the 3 chords, the 2, the 5, and the 1. Because again, that's going to be in every song you play. What's the kind of the key to me, the important thing is where you end these phrases. Because if you're going to end on a C chord, and you know the 9th is D, and that's the sound you want, you got it made. Right? The major 7th's a good one. The root, the 3rd, the 5th, the 6th, any of the notes of the scale work. It's just what sound do you want to end with? And that's where we have to get these sounds in our ears against all 3 chords. All right, so if we again just take the D minor, and you play your Dorian, basically a C scale, you could go all the way up. 4 notes per string, all different ways. Patterns. Once in a while hit a D minor, G7th. Play the Dorian mode, D to D over the G7th. Now some ideas. There's your chord tone. There's a chord tone. 5th, 13th. You see that? And then C. Dorian, major 7th, 9th, right? You see that? So it's all the C scale, but now once we put these modes into it, we get all confused. But there's no reason to be confused. We have to remember the good, remember those good tones. They all work. Again, we're looking at thirds starting on the G. A third, a minor third, a minor third, major third, minor third, major third, minor third. You see that? And here's another great position here. For a minor, for the Dorian, it's your F major 7 shape. G7, where we're going. See that? Works on the G7 and the C. Again, the scale, 9th, the D. That's the whole Dorian concept we're working. Minor, 7th. G7th, the 5 chord, and then the C. All right, so making musical ideas, leaving space, right? All of these things now we have to bring to just playing a simple 2-5-1 progression and trying to make some decent ideas. So let's just take 5 minutes and jam on a 2-5-1. 1 measure D minor 7, 1 measure G7, and 1 measure C, 2 measures C. And let's just play the notes of the Dorian over the chord changes, different rhythms, trying to land on a good solid chord tone. That's why we leave space so we can think about where we are and where that next chord tone is that we want to land on. Okay, I'll start off. We'll just do like 82. Okay, let me pause for 1 second here. Okay, we've got this working. 2-5-1 in C, playing the Dorian mode or the C scale, starting on D to D, thinking about chord tones we're going to land on. I'll do the first couple. 1, 2, 3, See that? It's just the Dorian mode, starting on D. Filling in with the rhythm. Major 7th, the 9th, maybe start on D, pattern, the arpeggio. See that? That D becomes the focus. Go ahead, give it a shot. place. Give yourself time to think about your good ending tones, good landing tones. Try some. See, we can skip a tone. You don't have to just play the scale. Maybe arpeggio. See that? You mix and match, always knowing where that ending tone's going to be. I wanted to land on the ninth, so I jumped around it. Go ahead, you give it a shot, finish it up. Okay, good. Now, let's take a look at these little riffs here, wrote up. Okay. So, Dorian foundation riffs. Okay, example 1, let's take a look at that. Scale, Dorian, and then, right? Now watch this. Landing on the 3rd of C. Put it up here. That's where the tab is. You know, figure it out all over the place. Just don't look at the tab. Really try to think about each starting note, each finger as a starting note. Even getting that far. And then you move on. Try to come up with as many ways as possible to get these foundation riffs. Okay, number 2, we go through, you see that? Jump up a 4th, down the scale. Put in a chromatic to get to the 5th of C. So that's one note out of the Dorian there, one chromatic note, and listen to what an effect it has. Right? See, that's kind of a nice position. And they're all notes in the Dorian. There's your minor 7th arpeggio, the 9th, the 11th, up to the minor 7th. Now starting on G for the G7, the root, still the Dorian mode, still the C scale, starting on a G. Here's your flat 9. Put the harmony around it. And here's your G7, the flat 9. Here's the bass. Okay, example 3. Starting now on the 3rd. We don't always want to start on the root. Sorry about that. We're going to have to put a little pause on here. 1 second. Okay. Okay, now here's a case where we're using the C scale, the Dorian mode, the Mixolydian mode, whatever you want to call it. We're starting on the 3rd. And there are your 3 chord tones, your 3rd, your 5th, and your minor 7th. Down the scale to the 3rd, so we're connecting thirds in a way. And I like that sound because, again, this is part of that arpeggio. The 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, then down the scale, and landing on the root. Okay, example 4, same concept, starting on the 5th now. Kind of inverted. You see that? 3rd. Just the little patterns there to get to the chord tones. So let's put this on. I'm going to go through these examples. Here is example 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. One more time. All right, let's go on to example 2. 2, 3, 4. Line has a lot in there. Good interval jumps, chord tones, extensions. And a little chromaticism. One more time. Here's example 3, 4. Arpeggio, then scale. 1, 2, starting on the 3rd. One more time. 1, 2, 3. And example 4. 1, 2, starting on the 5th. Example 4, one more time. I like that. Practice that one more time. Let's do that one more time. 2, 3. number 1 again. We'll go through all of them. Twice each this time. 1, 2. Example 2. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Example 3, twice, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And example 4, twice, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, now how do you make these your own? One thing to play them, memorize them. I've never been good at memorizing licks and then putting them into a song. Very difficult for me to do, although I read through, solos, and I have the Omni books and Pat Martino transcriptions and all kinds of stuff. I read through them. Very difficult for me to take it, that lick, and then put it in somewhere. Very difficult. So I try to get the concept and make it my own. Here's one. Right? End it differently. Instead of going down the scale, go up the scale. Pick a chord tone, end the third, up an octave, and I use the chromatic to get there. Use your tools to make these lines your own. Here's another way. Just do a different ending note. Right? G, D, different ending note. Let me put the track on and I'll show you how I will make these my own now. Here's number 1 with different ending notes. 3, 4. Scale going a different way. All right. One more time, maybe rhythmic variation. You see that? It really just goes widen the rhythm. That C. Here's number 2, same concept. Use a chromatic scale to get to the major 7th, maybe. The 9th. Again, I think you get the idea of how to make these your own. Okay, so let's jam. I'll give you 5 minutes. I'm just going to play some rhythm and explore this great sound of Dorian, which is the major scale. And again, you see how you add 1 chromatic. It's like, whoa, listen to that. So pretty cool stuff here. All right, go for it. 2, So, next week, we're going to take it into different keys. We're going to go into all different keys with this concept. For now, we're going to up the tempo. So what if you're like, what if you're playing a nice swing tempo at 140 or something, 145? You're not going to be ripping off these eighth note lines. Maybe you will. I don't know. But I would start a little slower, like we've discussed a few times. Here's an example. One, Here's your 2, 5, 1. Gotta put my glasses back together. See that? Nice simple ideas. All using that C scale or Dorian mode. Go ahead, you got it. It's easy, glide over the top of it. Using those good notes. That's nice. Chromatic for the Dorian mode, descending. That's a nice sound right there. Okay, go for it. And these are the riffs up at this tempo. Number 2, number 3. So you see they kind of fly along a little bit. Can't even play that one. That's why we glide over the top of it. Okay, my glasses come in today, so I was waiting, but I wanted to get this out. Okay, I'll put these tracks in there as well, the 2, 5, 1, and C. Again, we're going to go into different keys. Please explore fingerings, all different ways to get this on the fingerboard. You don't want to get stuck memorizing one way. All right, enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend.